Welcome back everyone, Zaf here, bringing you another Legend of Slime video. For today's content, we have an early access review of both Rudolf and Ketos. We're going to see what their slime skills are like, and see whether or not you should replace your current slime and use these two instead. Also, speaking of unlocking slimes, don't forget to comment down below your LoveCat code if you have yet to unlock them. We've had major success on this channel with getting people's codes used, as you can see from the comments I'm putting on the screen here, so be sure to drop a comment down with your code if you still need to unlock them. And if you are a subscriber, I'll be sure to pin your comment to the top, that way your code gets used much quicker. And speaking of subscribers, I've said it again and I'll say it now, we are almost at the 25,000 subscriber mark. Once we do reach that milestone, I'll have a very juicy giveaway for all these subscribers, so do stay tuned for that. Now, jumping into this video, we're going to first off test Rudolf. As you can see with the stage boss battle coming up, Rudolph's slime skill is very interesting, the activation doesn't take too long, and the skill cooldown is very quick as well, meaning there's not much of a downtime between when the skill is activated and when the skill cooldown is in effect. That means Rudolf is able to deal more damage compared to other slimes, such as Hero that I've mentioned in the past. Hero has a very long cooldown between the skill and the activation, which means his damage is a bit lower than what we'd expect. Now, although Rudolph's slime skill does activate fairly quickly, that doesn't mean we're going to deal lots of damage with them. If we quickly look at Rudolph's slime skill, every 9 seconds it deals 5000% of total companion attack, and increases critical damage by 50% for 5 seconds. That is fairly comparable to Gent, although on a much shorter time span, where we do know that Gent does double all incoming damage to enemies, which is one of the strongest slime skills we've had for a very long time, until Minor did become the new meta. So Gent always held the crown for the #1 slime, where his crown was just recently taken away by Minor, who did attain a ton of success from the new skill trait meta. So I do want to pin 3 slimes together in this test. I want to compare Rudolf, Gent, and Minor, seeing which one does the most damage. However, I do want everyone to note that my current trait layout is much better for both Minor and Rudolf. Since Gent is no longer the top tier slime, I wanted to switch my build loadout for Minor, who does focus skill damage, so don't be too surprised if Rudolf does come ahead of Gent. If they do have comparable damage and you have attack traits, then Gent will be much better for you compared to Rudolf. So really, this test will just see how close they are, and whether or not Rudolf comes close to Minor, which I do highly doubt, but we will see in a second. So jumping into the stage boss battle, we can see Rudolf doing a decent amount of damage, certainly not lacking damage in that respect, since we are able to slowly dwindle down the boss's HP, and at the end of the day we were able to bring the stage boss's HP down to around the 150 AN mark, which is a very respectable performance. And I do want to test out Minor now. As you know, with Minor, his slime skill is completely amplified by astrology. He has a node that only he has access to, which does boost his slime skill damage. We are, however, using the same toy for both slimes, meaning neither of them get a boost. So this is Minor's performance using the same toy, so he does not have his slime skill boosted. And you can see he did edge out Rudolf by a fair bit, bringing the stage boss to around the 50 AN mark. I wouldn't say that's groundbreaking, they do actually have very comparable performance, so I do wonder if we continue to raise our critical damage, will Rudolf edge out ahead with the bonus it provides? I don't think so, since Minor will also scale with more critical damage, so I do think that Minor is still technically the better slime, even without his slime specific toy. But again, we never know what changes Legend of Slime will have for us, so right now Rudolf isn't a bad bet if you don't have Minor. They do benefit greatly from the skill trait meta that we have now, and if you don't know what that is, I do have the video linked in the description and comment box below, so be sure to check that out. And I do want to test out Gent really quick just to see how he fares against the other two. I'd honestly be quite surprised if Gent comes close to either of their damages, since we do know he doesn't get too much of a bonus from the skill trait meta that we have right now. But let's jump in and see where he ranks. What I do like about Gent is that his slime skill did recently get buffed, so it does deal a bit of damage with the new traits that we do have, so he isn't completely left to rot in the dust. But as you can see, he only left the stage boss at 187 AN, which means that Rudolf does come out ahead, especially with the new meta. Now I do want to test out one more slime. Let's try the new slime Alley, who is a very strong contender. His slime skill is very strong as well, so let's see how he fares. Did you see that gem amount on the screen as well? The idle chest does get in the way, so let's see that happening one more time. Yeah, that was around 10 million gems. It doesn't affect his damage, it is all visual, but it does look cool nonetheless. So you did see there, he only left the stage boss around the 250 AN mark, which was the worst performance that we've had so far. That is not a surprise because Ali's skill damage is variable. Since his slime skill does deal a random amount of damage every hit, that is because his treasures do drop at a random amount. Since his slime skill does drop up to 18 treasures, where it can be less than that amount, resulting in much lower damage. Which we did see with the second stage boss battle, where he did deal slightly more damage, but being representative of our very strong skill damage based slimes, he didn't come close to either of the other 3 slimes that we mentioned, where in order, it was Miner, Rudolf, Gent, and Anali. But again, they are all so comparable, you won't really have an exceedingly large advantage between either of the slimes. That is, again, because of the new meta. It does make sure all these slimes are fairly comparable, so you don't have to break the bank and get Gent. You can get any of these other new slimes, especially like Rudolf as we mentioned, if you don't have Miner, since these slime passes are just so much cheaper and a much better value than buying a slime that was previously released outright. Now with all this said, I do recommend you buy Rudolf if you're on the fence about it. You don't need to buy Miner or Gent if you don't have them already. Again, that is only if you plan on buying slime passes. I do believe Rudolph's is one of the best values we have seen to date. And on the note of new slimes, I do want to try the new slime out. It is a recent free-to-play edition, which I'm so happy to see. I can't remember the last time we had a free slime. Actually, no, that was the most recent event, which was the first year anniversary. I believe that was in August, so around 3 to 4 months, which is honestly not so bad, but I'm sure we could all appreciate more slimes being added. We did get 2 free slimes during that period. We did have both Happy and Love Cat be released during that time, so I can't complain too much. But it would have been much appreciated if we got a new slime, maybe every other slime pass. That way free-to-play players do have something to look forward to, since I do know they are very pressed for getting more damage. But hey, let's see how this new slime is. Quickly looking at their slime skill, every 11 seconds they deal around 500 to 1500% of attack damage, just based on the distance rolled for their slime skill. I don't believe they have the strongest slime skill, unfortunately. If we look at a slime like Happy, every 3 seconds they deal 1000% of total attack, which is already much better than the new slime, but I'm going to test them out anyways. I don't believe I'll be able to see a difference because I am a pay-to-win player with so many slimes. Companion damage is my main damage source, so it'll probably be very difficult for me to quantify the differences between free-to-play slimes, but at least we'll get a good preview of their slime skill. So let's jump into a stage boss battle, see how they do. I did switch over to the Serpine toy as well, just to get everyone an even comparison. And after this, I'll switch over to a slime like Aku, who is technically the current best free-to-play slime, even though their slime skill doesn't reflect that. In every test that has been done, Aku always comes out ahead. I do have to say Ketos' slime skill is very interesting. It's fairly similar to Newbie, where we do have a bunch of humans running across the screen. The activation is honestly fairly quick, but the cooldown is too long. We can see he hardly activates it, and the stage boss damage result was 436 AN. Let's quickly switch over to Aku and see how he performs. Hopefully we do see a difference. I doubt it because my damage is so amplified by my companions and other sources, but with the new skill trait meta, I do think we'll have a promising result. And as you can see, once the stage boss did reach Aku, his slime skill begins to completely shred them apart, bringing the stage boss to 427 AN health remaining, which is exactly why Aku is our strongest free-to-play slime. So again, Ketos wasn't too bad, he'll just be used for his own effect bonuses. and of course his promotion bonuses that we'll get for promoting him, since we can always appreciate those free damage gains. I know I definitely need a place to spend all my slime tiers. I have thousands now, so this was a much needed add to the game. Hopefully more slimes do come out, or at least new sources for us to spend our slime tiers, maybe in treasures or relics. I'll honestly take any new update, any new feature, just please let me spend my slime tiers. I have nowhere else to use them currently. Anyways, that was it for today's video. If you enjoyed and you want more Legend of Slime content like this, be sure to drop down a like and subscribe, comment down any questions you have, and I'll see you in the next video. Zaf signing out.